afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are joining from. You are welcome to this live event. We are streaming live. This event is organized by Donny Shop Educational Limited, and we have as a guest speaker, Christianah. Is it you? Okay, Christianah. Let me keep it short. Christianah, and she is the student representative in Africa for ITD in Canada. She will speak to us concerning their programs and admission process, admission process, and how to migrate to Canada. So I know you have lot of questions. Please type your questions. We should be able to answer all your questions at the end of this presentation. First of all, let's introduce you to what Donny Shop is all about. Donny Shop is an educational consultancy firm. We are based in Nigeria, Port Harcourt to be precise, and we started our operation since 2015. Since 2015, we've been able to help a lot of people to build a brighter future through education, mostly into a study abroad program. We've been able to recruit several students to US, Canada, Australia, UK, and most of the countries in Europe. Our services, okay, our major goal is to assist students in their search for programs designed to meet their individual needs and also ensure that they graduate with outstanding records. Based on this, we tailored our services to meet our goal, and you see that from our services, you see how we assist students. Okay, we teach and we coach. We assist students in writing coursework, thesis, and proofreading and editing of their materials. We deliver online and distance learning program for our partners. We have some partners that want us to deliver their online program, their distance learning program, so we deliver it on their behalf. We also represent and we are agents to some colleges, universities, and high schools across Canada, US, Australia, and UK. So those are our services, and like I said, we have partners. We have over 100 partners, so we cannot list all of them. These are some of our partners here. We partner with them and we recruit mostly for them, and like one of our partners here, we deliver their program. So that is our contact. So you can contact us for all your educational consultant needs. We are here to advise, we are here to counsel you, we are here to assist you to get placement that you want. So you have the email address there and you have the contact number. The good thing is that we are also on WhatsApp with this contact number. So if you contact us on WhatsApp, I think we should be able to respond as soon as possible with this number. And the unique thing about us is that if you observed, we have a progression route, a kind of a progression route for our students, because we deal with elementary schools, we deal with high schools, we deal with colleges, we deal with universities. So you can progress through the rest of the thing. I think that is all for us, and thank you for listening. Christianah is here to take over from me. She will present the programs from ITD. And like I said, if you have any question, please type your questions. We should be able to answer it at the end of our presentation. Thank you. Christianah, over to you. Over to you, Christianah. Are you with me?
Okay, please can you confirm if you are hearing me, please?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, and welcome on board.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your invite to this webinar. So, thank you for introducing me. What is ITD? First of all, the full meaning of ITD is Institution of Technology of Development of Canada. And I welcome you to today's webinar, where you know more about ITD, what ITD is all about, our programs, and the like. So next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm trying to move to the next slide.
Okay. So we are here to, ITD, we are here to help you in your career goal, in your career journey, to prepare you for the better future, to equip you for all that are required for in academics and in having work experience and the like. Please, next slide. So, once again, I welcome you to today's webinar, where you learn more about our programs, about our courses, and we actually guide you through our program. We are such a friendly and welcoming set of people that we take our time to guide you through and also answer all your questions. Please, can you go to the next slide? So here I'm going to list our products. That's our educational products and the like. Can you go to the next slide? So for more than 18 years, we have actually watched our graduates embarking on their careers in academics, in industry, and so on. So we actually offer 25 exciting career college diplomas, and today I'm going to speak more about our diploma. So many of which can have actually have the academic requirements that you can complete within a year. So at ITD Canada, we have 5 different departments, which we call different schools. Next slide. So we have the schools for language, we have for hospitality, we have for art, we have for business, and we have for information technology. So like I mentioned that the academic you take within a year. So we have our programs attached with co-op. Co-op is where you'll be able to work in the industry, and we are able to guide you through how to go about it, prepare you for co-ops. That's in second year, which is actually optional. So our programs are actually designed to prepare you for your new career, where you have practical, that's hands-on experiences, which are actually required in industry, even in academics. And they are delivered by practitioners, that's instructors, who actually combine their year of industrial experiences with the exceptional instructional abilities that they have, and we offer solid market-driven programs that help our students to develop the skills that are mostly required by employers in in multiple industries. So you just have to feel free with us, and we help you to attain your career goal. So in the School of IT, we have different programs, which are: number one, we have the open source web development, we have the embedded programming, we have graphics and web development, we have general programming, we have e-commerce, we have game development, we have network administration. And in this School of IT, you are expected to have 960 hours in classes, and also 960 hours at cohort. Just like I said, the first year is where you stay in class, you learn and on experiences, and the second year is for cohort, where you go to industry and work. So for the first 10, all our first 10 are the same. Why? From the after first 10, you have the ability to change. You may have some situation whereby you want to change your program, or you want to make some adjustments. So we allowed you to do that, because we believe at the first 10 you would have know what is required to know, yes, if you're okay with this program, or you want to go for another program. So we also have business administration, we have accounting and finance. Then we also have sustainable business management. So for this business course also, you are expected to take 960 hours in classes. Then for cohort options, you have 840 hours for cohort. So for graphics design and interior design, you next slide. So you also take 960 hours in classes, then you spend 840 hours for cohort. For hospitality management, is still the same thing. You spend 960 hours in class, then you spend 840 hours in co-op. So in a term runs for 16 weeks, which then 25 hours a week. So we actually offer, sorry about that. We actually offer 6 weeks conditional free English language program for students that actually applied for diploma. You know that we are from different country, from different background. So you may have a situation whereby you want to advance your English, and this English are partitioned such that you take them progressively. So we train our students to be ahead of their job seekers by preparing them for the necessary skills, aside having hands-on experience in classes, you experience in cohort. There are programs that prepare you for job interview. You are able to develop your boldness, your communication skills, and like so. Our program are actually accredited to ensure the highest quality of education is delivered to you. So, and our program has actually been designed with input from people from industry from different country from these different companies in British Columbia, and they help us to ensure that our students are learning what are actually required for job. Next slide. So it's a thing to have large classes where you not be able to have interaction with your instructor. But here we are actually we pride ourselves into smaller classes such that there will be a good interaction between our students and our instructor. So our students are actually able to easily ask questions, and our instructor give them immediate answers, and they also focus on feedback from students. We hear from our students in order to improve or to ensure that we deliver well to them. So, learning from industry, ICT Canada, our instructor actually brings their years of professional experiences into class. They are not just uh, going to teach theory, they are not just teaching theory, they teach hands-on, and they teach from the experiences that they gathered in the industry. So, having spent less time more time, this the previous slide. So they spend, in addition to their experience in the industry, they are able to help us to shaping our curriculum to be able to fit well into the industry, such that we'll be able to deliver what are actually required in the industry. So we also have experienced advisors which help our students to work on their resume, on their CV, and help them to connect them with jobs, and also teach them what are required for job in Canada. Next slide. we our career and co-op services, just like I mentioned that co-op is optional. The first year you're expected to be in classes where you have hands-on sections with instructor, but the second year for co-op is plainly with industry, where you look for a specific company in Canada, and this course section is actually can be taken only in Canada, not outside the Canada. So whatever company that a student apply for, the company will the have to be the job description have to be in relation to what they studied, and working with them, they so that they will be able to practicalize everything that has been taught in classes. So, and our tuition fees are actually affordable. They are designed to prevent our students from actually going bankrupt after finishing with us. So we offered flexible quarterly, even monthly payment for our qualified students. This is to help them to ensure that they are able to financially get themselves stable in Canada, and also focus on what they are their learning. So we have a scholarship program, and we offered our students 25 partial tuition scholarship, which ranges from 500 to 1,000 Canadian dollar each quarterly to students that pursue any of our diploma. Next slide. So we are actually having promo prices. We have we have two campuses in Canada. We have in Vernon and we have in Vancouver. So for the 2 years, the students in Vernon pay 15,000 Canadian dollar for the 2 years, and for Vancouver they pay 18,000 Canadian dollar. And our students actually have the flexibility to make use of any payment plan to pay their fee. So a student that decides to defer the term or the section, we have to pay the regular fee. So constant research of the industry, we take our time to constantly research employment markets, data from government of British Columbia and even federal governments, such that we be able to use that in classes to be able to teach our students and prepare them ahead of whatever job they find themselves doing in the future. So we actually we have data analysts, that works and creates meaningful reports of the data that we get for the next 8 to 10 years, such that we are able to help our students and support them, then give them, deliver the required learning to them. Thank you. Next slide. So in the next few slides that I'm going to go through, it's one of they have a result from the data analysis process that were carried out, where you see all high-paying job until 2025. So over here you can see, starting from the top up to the bottom, you can see from the highest, I'm so sorry, finding it difficult to see. So from the highest, you can see how the pay goes: hourly, monthly, quarterly. Next slide. We are actually interested in the positive impactment that we impact into our students, supporting them to grow so that they can be able to earn well in the future. Next slide. We also support them to be so efficient in whatever thing they do, to be able to better place them even ahead the job seekers wherever they find themselves. And at your convenience, you can apply to join us in January, in April, in July, or even October at any year. So this year, we still have July and October intake. Can you go to the next slide? So, and in each of these terms, just like I've said previously, we have 12 weeks at the school, and our students go for 1 week holiday within each of the term. So if a student can't actually make it to the start date, he or she can join within 2 weeks. So after the 2 weeks, students that can't join instantly, after the 2 weeks, a new letter of agreement is issued to the student, which actually is going to reflect the start date of the student and even the end date. So additionally, this letter of agreement is up to a year. So after the first year, registration is free. So for the second year, for those going for co-op, also has such reflected. So what is the progression in joining us? You apply, to us, in which you have the requirements. Nigeria, we are being taught in classes using English language. So if you have English certificate, we accept that. But if you don't have, you can make use of your WAEC or your NECO, and we are going to analyze whatever results you have to be able to see if it meets up the requirements. Then after that, you pay part payment, which you pay 100 and 300 Canadian dollar. Then we issue you an acceptance letter. You apply for visa. After you apply for visa, yes, you can join us in Canada. Then you'll be able to, maybe monthly or quarterly, be able to pay the remaining school fees. Thank you so much for listening to me so far. Now time for you to ask your questions, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Christianah. Thank you, because thank you for the wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
I've been enjoying, and I have some questions from one from Facebook page and the other one from our LinkedIn page. And I know I have somebody here that joins us directly. I believe maybe he will ask some questions. So
Okay.
the first question I have here is about the co-op.
Okay.
Yeah. The question is, you said the school, you said the student apply for co-op. Where does the school help in the application, or what is the process of the application?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. For co-op, each of the programs I mentioned, you can see, for example, business administration. So anyone that wants to have it with co-op, we have to select business administration with co-op. And before the second year, within the first year, they have programs that have been put in place for our students to help them to not only have the academic requirement or the hands-on requirement, but also interpersonal skills like communication. By that time, you would have built your boldness, because there are programs, just like, for example, there's one we call Toastmaster, where at every week our students gather together, and a particular aside one of our instructor teaching them everything that they really need to know. Okay, today they may decide to teach about the cultures in Canada, or how to build up resume, different topic. Next, for that, in that during that particular program, we have students that share such a program, and also a particular topic would be sent to each of the students before, prior to the meeting day, so that they can all prepare, and each of them or few of them will be given that opportunity to explain such a topic. For example, it can be like the role of artificial intelligence in the industry. So there are people that are there that will check such students' boldness, and give and analyze, also advice, such that when such a student go for interview, the boldness is there, is able to communicate well. So such a student will be able to betterly present themselves. Okay, so for that second year cohort, we actually allowed our students to look for industry themselves, such that they will be able to select the one that is closer to them, the one that they can actually work with. But with our help, there are companies that come to us to ask, oh, we have these so roles that are opened. Please, do you have students that can fill up this position? Such, we actually check our students that meet up such requirements, and submit their resume to them. So some students that are unable to secure the job themselves, there we have we have our staff that sit with them physically to help them to shaping their resume, to help them to check internet together, such that such students will also be able to learn in the future. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, yes, it answers our question. Thank you for that. Thank you for the explanation. I think the Toastmaster is very interesting because I've been hearing of it, and I have a brother that is a member, so I'm very, very familiar. When I saw it on your website, wow, this is interesting. And then the second question. Okay, you said there is a monthly payment plan and the rest. What is the
Yes, sir.
actual percentage in terms of the least percentage that someone should pay?
The lease payment, I'm trying to understand that. That's for monthly or the initial payment?
The initial payment, you said the initial payment is paying of $300. Is that true?
No, I
Okay,
mentioned,
okay. Take us through your payment structure once again. Sorry about that.
okay, okay, thank you very much. The initial payment, you have to pay 1,300 Canadian dollar.
Okay, okay.
So the remaining will now be spread across the remaining months. So the finance department will take their time to get, the programs, the amount for School of IT is different from the other schools, but very still
Yeah.
close to them. So just like, for example, I mentioned that in Vancouver, you pay 18,000 Canadian dollar. So such amount now, if your program is just for is having a 12-month program, dividing the remaining, after removing the initial payment, you divide the remaining amount by the remaining months, then you now be paying the amount monthly. And our system is
Okay.
actually built such that before the next payment, you receive an email reminding you to make your payment, so that you will not forget.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, in terms of migration to Canada, if there is any question, we have an agent in Canada that always handle our own immigration process. Unless the student want to use their agent, we don't have any problem. But since we've started using the agent we have in Canada, it's a registered agent. We've been having 100% success. We've not had any, provided the candidate or the student who follow all the checklists that will be given to him or her. Because I know some of us, when we say at least you must have to show in your account, or your statement of account must show this, then we look at the other way around. And I know some schools that I'm dealing with, some will have a deadline stated on the letter of acceptance. Do you have that, please?
Yes,
Do you have a timeline?
Yes, there's a deadline. The deadline is within 2 weeks. That's for the initial payment. But we've had some situation whereby some students apply for additional week, probably additional a week or 2 weeks. But acceptance letter will not be given until when the initial payment is made.
Payment. Okay. Okay. So why I asked that, because I had an experience with one of our students that there was a deadline stated on the letter of acceptance, and he stayed and overdue before going to the embassy. So the embassy rejected the application based on the fact that it's overdue. So within our own, we'll make everything possible that any of our students that uses our services, we guide and we follow up to make sure if there is need for extension, like you have said, we will equally reach out to you and request for an official extension. So I don't know if there is any other question, because I don't have, let me check. Dan, do you have any question? Please, you are with us. The floor is open if you have any question, please.
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have question. Just it why I check our platform if we have any question. Okay, there is a question here. One question.
Okay.
About the student life. How do you manage students if a mature student that comes in? How do you manage? What is the exact time? How many hours should the student spend in classroom, and how many hours should the student is free for himself?
Well,
do you have such?
Yes, we all our students are matured because we don't actually babysit. Okay, so we have a minimum age of 18 years for our students, so that they can be able to boldly take care of themselves. So I have mentioned, like I mentioned previously, you are not going to be in class 24/7. Just like, for example, there are different way that students pay their fee. Some have to work part-time and be able to make their payment, be able to sponsor themselves and the like in Canada. So it depends on the program that you apply for, and it depends. And before each term, students get the schedule for the next term at least a week before the resumption, such that you'll be able to schedule yourself to attending classes and also have the other life. Let me just make use of that word.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, it's not just about classes, and classes. You can students we allow our students to have their other life, but we advise our students that if you need to change environment because your study permit takes where you are to be, we advise our students to always keep us updated of their movement and whatever thing they are experiencing. We are so flexible such that we can allow the students. We had some situation whereby some students had to leave to attend to issues of life. We understand such situation and we allow them for that time. When they are ready, they can come back and continue.
Okay.
Don't know if
That's
that answers.
interesting. Yes, yes, you've answered. That is interesting. So it's not all about academics. There is social life attached to it. Good.
Yeah.
And time to take care of family needs, if any.
Yes.
It's
Yes, please.
interesting. It's interesting. Okay. Thank you. I have not seen any other question. I think you've been able to do justice to all the questions, and it's a wonderful presentation. It's all inclusive, and there is no need to ask questions. Still, this event is being recorded, and I will share it with every of the participants and everyone that registered, so that you go through it once again. And if you have any question, please feel free to approach us. You have our contact, is there on the screen. Feel free, you approach us, then we answer your question. On academics, on immigration, on programs, feel free, please. The number on the screen is equally a WhatsApp number, so you can chat us up on that equally, and we answer your question as soon as possible. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you for finding time to speak to us this evening. And
You're
thank you to
welcome.
our guests. And do have a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, a wonderful day, depending on where you join us from. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.